going forward at the level that we're at. And so, they do happen, but for the most part, they don't. So what you end up doing is you end up playing a lot of shows because you want to. And once you sort of made that realization and made that connection, you become a little bit more into it because you're only there for you. It's not, you're never in a situation where it's like, oh, I can't believe we're playing this show because blah, 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 blah. There is none of that. You know what I mean? Like, the good shows will come along from time to time, the ones that do matter, but for the most part, you're there because you want to be. And once you kind of turn that corner, you really can deliver a really good show. So you really go all out on your shows. And I'll give you a perfect example. Our very last show, we were this past Friday, so a few days ago, we were down at playing the Jersey Shore Music Festival. We were down at Seaside Heights. They asked us to come down, and we played like a 9 o'clock slot on a Friday. Now, anybody in the Northeast will remember the unbelievably horrible weather that we had all across the Northeast on Friday. It took us 5 hours to get to Seaside, which is normally a 2.5 hour ride for us. We get there, it's pouring rain. I mean, just pouring rain. We're unloading in the pouring rain. It got all the makings of a real suck-ass show, right? But we get in there, and about 20 minutes before we go on, maybe like 50 people in like kind of Blues Brothers motif are coming in celebrating a birthday party, and they are there to have a good time. They are drinking, they are dancing, they are wasted, and we go up and we give it to them. We give it to them as hard and as fast as we possibly can, and they love us. They're completely not our audience. Like, not, you wouldn't be like, oh look, they're hard rock fans. You wouldn't think that for a second, but they loved us. They bought us shots. They were trying to sing songs at bars that they had never heard before, and they stayed from our first song to our last song, and they had a great time because we gave them the show that they needed to see, and that's what you can expect from a Revel 9 show. We almost always will just leave everything we have on the stage, and you can either like us or not, but you can definitely not say to us, oh, those guys just suck live, because it isn't going to happen.
All right, well, you kind of touched a little bit on some good events and some negative events. What ultimately was ever your best show, and what was your worst show?
Let's see. I kind of commingled the G-Davy and the Revel 9 days, because it was sort of like a very linear thing. I will say, the worst show we had, this was back in the G-Davy days, and like I said, we were a little more poppy. We got hired to play 2 sets at a biker bar, which was fine. Like, we can do that, and we could do that then. I mean, we'd be more suited to it now, but it was like 2 in the afternoon, and they didn't like us at all, but we were under contract to play 2 sets, and we actually just had, and I had never been so shaken as a singer before that I was having trouble concentrating and remembering words. But I was intimidated by the audience because they really didn't want us to be there. And if it was just a typical 45-minute set, I would have cut the band short, and we would have been out of there. Yeah, it would have been that. But we were contracted to play these 2 sets, and it was horrible to actually have to do it. And so that was probably the worst set. I don't know, we've had a lot of really good shows. I mean, we played very unexpected, very large shows and very big shows. I can say that our last best show was probably, we played The Room in Connecticut, up in Brookfield, Connecticut. And we were up there on March 29th. They do something called Rumble at the Room, and this was one of the semifinals nights, and we were the guest band. And we were the guest band for a couple of bands that we already knew, and they had a lot of people there that already knew us, and some other people from the area knew us, and we played right before they announced the winner, so it was a combination of not having been up there in a while, having a lot of friends in the audience, and having the perfect slot right before they announced the winner. Somebody's going to win, $250, and the vibe we got from the audience was just fantastic. I mean, it wasn't the biggest audience we've had, but I think there was like 100+ people in there, and I think every single one of them was into our show, and they're a much younger audience because it's an all-ages venue, so it's anywhere from 14, I guess, to 21 is probably like your primary thing. And they were just so into it, and the vibe we were getting off the stage was just fantastic. And I walked off the stage and I said to the owner, Vern, I was like, that was definitely one of the top 5 shows I've ever played, just because of the energy and the vibe. And I love stuff like that.
Now, I was looking through your awesomely put together bio, which we were talking earlier. Kudos to you for having the wherewithal to know to send. Bands could learn something from that. Having your shit together. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at any rate,
important.
Yeah, it's vital.
And I'll tell you, the band's bio is woefully outdated. We have a new record that's coming out, and I'm trying to do all this stuff kind of behind the scenes so I can kind of, dump the new... I went ahead and I dumped the new press pick, which just needed to be done, but, the new bio comes out, new artwork comes out, it's all kind of... And the new single's coming out in June, it's all going to come out together, because the bio is really outdated. I have all new band members in the band, and it's just, when you're in a band and you're not getting, paid enough that it's your only job and stuff, sometimes it's really hard to kind of maintain all this stuff. But yes, when you're going to do anything, definitely at least do it professionally so it's got everything in there, because, it makes the job for you guys much easier, but also just, it's a bio, it's supposed to tell you about the band.
Yeah, give us a little heads up. Yeah, give us a little heads up. But anyway, what I was getting at was, as I'm reading through this, correct me if I'm wrong, you've been nominated for 3 fucking Grammys.
Yes, it sounds way cooler than it actually is. I mean, it's a cool thing, but I will tell you, when I first got the notification that it happened, I was like, woo, this is great. And I called my grandmother and stuff, and I was like, listen, this is fantastic. And I actually started talking with some industry people, and they were like, listen, it's not as cool. I'm like, but I can still tell my grandmother, right? Absolutely. It's a very cool thing. I will say it's a recognition of something that you've accomplished to even be on the ballot, even be considered. Because anybody can nominate you for to be on the Grammy. Any recording, what is it, the RIE, whatever, Institute of America. I don't even know who runs the Grammy. But any Grammy voting member can nominate you. But it still has to go through kind of a process. You can't just nominate anything because that it sucks, because then somebody else will be like, that sucks, and it won't make its way on the ballot. So what it says at the end of the day, in very simple terms, is somebody thought enough about what we had done to nominate us, and then nobody disliked it enough to say no, they can't. But it was put to me, my producer sat me down, he's like, so I was excited, and he was like, yeah, best rock song. He's like, so you think you guys are going to beat the Foo Fighters this year? And I was like, no, not since you said it that way. It really kind of knocked the reality right back into me. But that's kind of how that goes.
Yeah, but it makes me question, what if you did win? Then what?
Well, I think even if I got to the top 4 or 5, even if I got to the point where they announce, if we get to the point where they announce our names, on TV, that's life changing. You know what I mean? That's a whole game changer. It could have been a game changer just being on the ballot, because by being on the ballot, people have to listen to you to vote.
This is true.
So who knows what, who heard what and stuff. I will say that I have not gotten anything in furtherance of my career from it that I'm obviously aware of. I have no idea if other stuff has kind of come in because of that, but nobody has said, yeah, I saw you, I heard you guys because I was listening to you on the ballot or whatever, and like that. So it didn't do anything for me that way, but apparently that is a way that sort of thing does happen. So
fuck it, you were nominated for 3 Grammys. Stick with that. I'm sticking with that story.
Hell yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Oh, believe me, dude, listen, half of being in a band is how you spin stuff, you know what I mean? And we've done shows, Six Flags Great Adventure used to have this program called Live and Local, and we used to play it every single year. Twice. We played in the summer, and then we played during Fright Fest in October. Sadly, they don't have the program anymore, but let me tell you, there was never a time that we played there that I didn't bring that card out. Because everybody hears Grammys like, oh, Grammys, really? Yeah, absolutely. All I really need to do is capture somebody's attention for a couple minutes and them listen to a song. Now, if they don't like hard rock, that's fine, and they're not going to like it. That's cool. But if they do, and I can get their attention for a couple minutes, then I probably have a Revel 9 fan. So I have no problem pulling and playing that card when it behooves the band. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Hey, let's talk a little bit more about the band now. Talk a little bit about who you got in the band with you and how it differs from different incantations of this band and the one you had before.
Okay. Well, so when we rolled over from D-Davy, we basically took all of D-Davy, which was me, my drummer Mike, and my bass player Ray, and we just rolled right over into Revel 9, and then we hired a rhythm guitar player, Matt, and that was the version of Revel 9 that released the Razorblade Diaries coming up on 3 years ago now. And we played for, let's see, I guess in that incarnation we probably played a good solid 2 years together. And then what happened is in the summer, in July of 2012, my rhythm guitar player Matt passed away. And it was a sad and a rough thing. I mean, we have a kind of a strong community that we're a part of here, and not even just here on Long Island. Like, it's kind of regional because, technically we're a national band, but we kind of focus regionally because it's with the cost. It's silly, but it's logistical. Like with the cost of gas and everything, it's easier to just build in a region. So that's what we do. So we're pretty concentrated throughout the region. We have a lot of friends and stuff, and because Matt was like just a beloved character, we ended up spending the end of 2020. We shelved what was going to be our next record. We just put it on the back burner, and we spent the end of 2012 doing benefits for him because when he died, he left behind a 2-year-old daughter named Penny. So it was kind of it was a very sad thing. Like obviously because he passed away, but it was actually kind of like a moment in time because all these bands kind of came together. And I know bands do that, but kind of bands at this level don't always do that, and bands at our level did, and it spoke to who Matt was, and it spoke to the point in time we were at in this community. So what we ended up doing is spending the rest of 2012 and even some early of 2013 doing 5 big benefit shows around the island, up in Connecticut, and in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And they take a lot, they take a lot of planning and organizing, and I did a lot of that, and my band did a lot of that. And we ended up raising like well over $10,000 for a trust fund for his daughter, which was great. It was what we wanted to do, it was what the bands involved wanted to do, and that's what we did. So we did all that, and we rolled into 2013, and after our Atlantic City benefit, I said to the band, I was like, listen, I need a break. I need like a month off, and then we'll look at that. We'll talk about things in February. So I did that. I took January off. I ended up taking most of February off too. And then towards the end of February, beginning of March, I started reaching out to Mike and Ray, who were the other remaining members of Revel 9, and I didn't hear back from them. So I followed up with them again in March, and I was like, listen, I'm ready to start putting back. Again, we had postponed our record. I was like, let's do this. Let's kind of put this back together and get this thing back on track. And for different reasons that they just weren't in the place at the time that they could do what needed to be done to do the record and carry on the band. So they both quit, which left me in March and April of 2013 with basically all the material for a record, the band name, and just me. So I didn't quite know what to do. I actually had to do a lot of kind of soul searching to figure out if I did want to keep on going in this band, or did I want to just join somebody else's band? Because I do know lots of bands that are doing lots of good things, and so I kind of just waited back and forth, and it was only like 2 or 3 weeks after that, and I was like, I can't not do anything. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I've been playing music for years. I love it. I breathe it. I bleed it. Like, this is who I am. So I started kind of putting out feelers to see, like, what kind of musicians I could get. Like, we have enough of a reputation that I could say, like, look, we're looking for a drummer, kind of like on the download and stuff, like, and see who was interested. And what I got is everybody and their grandmother wanted to help and would help me do the record and would help me play shows that I needed, but nobody was going to either leave their bands that they were currently in and join Revel 9, which is fine. I wasn't looking to poach anybody. Or anybody that wasn't currently in a band either wasn't the right person for the job or couldn't commit to what I want. Because, I mean, we're not like, hey, let's just play Fridays at the local bar. Like, we tour regionally. Like, it's work. Like, we do records, we promote, we go tour. Like, this is what bands do. So it's definitely a step up from, like, your neighborhood band. So I decided, after getting, like, kind of not a lot of positive feedback, I was like, all right, screw it. I have the material for the record. I can do the entire record myself, so that's what I did. I started writing the entire record myself and started to rough track stuff. A couple of weeks into that, or maybe a few weeks into that, I hear from my now guitarist, Kaz. He sends me an email or calls me or something, and I put out an ad looking for a drummer because I figured I'd start with a drummer. And he's like, listen, I'm a guitar player, but I have a drummer. You know, I didn't know if you were looking. He's like, I knew you had a guitar player, so I don't know if you're looking for a guitar player too, but I have me and a drummer if you're interested. And I was like, actually, I am interested. In fact, I'm looking for a bass player too. I just figured I'd start looking for a drummer. So he emails me back. He's like, oh, I have one of those too. So basically, with one phone call, he's like, I have a guitar player, I have a drummer, and a bass player. And I say to my wife, I was like, I have to go try these guys out, right? Like, it's an instant band. And she's like, absolutely. So I had one show left at Six Flags Great Adventure that I had to play, and I had some people filling in with me. And as soon as that was done, I went and I technically auditioned all three of them, even though I'm the new guy. And they had done the work. They learned a lot of the songs and stuff, and it sounded really good. And we just decided to make a go of it. And that was August or September of last year. And now me, Kaz, Nadal, and Tony, we are the new members of Revel 9. And that's kind of where we're at now. And we're on the eve, almost literally the eve of releasing this new record. And I guess we'll see where 2014 takes us.
All right, now, if you had to be deserted on an island and could only listen to one album for the rest of your life, what album are you taking to the deserted island with you?
Oh, I feel like I should know this. I can honestly say the answer would change from month to month to month to month, but I feel like if I had to do it right now, I would probably take the Day to Remember's Homesick album. I think there's just more songs on that I'm listening to lately than anything else. Although there's definitely a Deftones or a Chevelle record that might be a close second.
That's awesome, man.
Fuck
now,
yeah.
it's an amazing story that you were telling, and I was wondering a little bit about the influence that you've been through with all this on the lyrics and that kind of thing that you got going on in the songs. Does any of that inspire that, or do you write about other stuff?
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I was actually giving an interview a couple of weeks ago, and I sort of had a moment of clarity about the new record that I thought was interesting. So I've been saying it ever since, because why do the work again, right? Like, I figured out my answer. But I had said, they had asked about the inspiration for the Razorblade Diaries. And the Razorblade Diaries is basically just a collection of stories that either I or my friends or even like acquaintances had gone through, like very common themes. You know, boy meets girl, boy loses girl, like that kind of stuff. And it's definitely some dark tendencies, but like kind of these combinations of stuff that people I know had gone through. And then, just a little kind of creative licensing around it. But this record that's coming out, that's called The Reality Crush, which kind of just sums it all up. It's very different in the sense that every song on it represents a point in time over the past couple years. And the difference with this record is that the Revel 9 family of fans, like the real fans, are so tight and are so intertwined with us and are so part of everything that we do that they all know everything that's been going on for the past couple of years. And this this record is going to resonate with them so much because they're going to know, oh, that's what this is. And of course, that's what this is. And this, and I've never actually written such a personal record, and I certainly didn't do it on purpose, but these are things that have been going on for the past 3 years. And I didn't mean to do that. And I think it's going to be interesting to see. I was actually sitting in my kitchen speaking to my old guitarist, the one that passed away. I was speaking to his widow, and I was telling her the same thing. And she's like, yeah, we've all lived all this for the past couple of years, and it's gonna be interesting to see how it's received. And I'm almost nervous for it. You know what I mean? Like our fans are awesome. Like they really are great. And I know all bands think that their fans are awesome, and I'm not dissing them or their fans, but our fans are the awesomest, and they know it. And they stand with us through. I mean, we took like it's been 3 years since we released the record, and they are still as rabid as ever. Like that's awesome. And I'm a little nervous to see how they're going to react to all this stuff, because not that I don't think that they won't like it, but I think because it's such a kind of an intimate peek into what's been going on, that it's a little, I don't know, exposed, for lack of a better word. But I'm counting on them to already know all this stuff anyway, so it's not going to be as exposing. How's that a long-ass answer?
It sounded great, man. Now let's talk a little bit about, what even got you into being into music anyways. Name your top 3 major influences that made you want to pick up a guitar and all.
Well, I mean, truth be told, like my parents were in a band when I was, growing up, like
very cool.
Literally in diapers. Like I was raised, I was raised on the rehearsal room floor of my parents' band. So, like, there was just no way that I wasn't going to be, that I wasn't going to be doing something musical. It's really in my DNA, but it's like that whole nature versus nurture. Like I had it from both sides. So, I mean, like I grew up, with like Sabbath and Zeppelin and just the class. Look, I would air guitar to AC/DC. The first, I would air guitar to Ozzy. I still can't play like Randy Rhoads, but I can air guitar like him, like nobody's been. You know what I mean? Like these are people that just inspired. Like, oh, that was amazing. I want to do that. So in terms of playing music, it's like all those, but in terms of writing songs, like, I'm not necessarily sure that's an inspiration. I feel like once you learn how to write a song, and if you have something to say, that's when it really takes off. You can look at the Beatles and James Taylor and, Sarah McLachlan, and like see like really, really great songwriters and stuff like that. And like Paul Simon and stuff, and they are great songwriters, and Chris Cornell and stuff, great songwriters. But I can't, like, I have a story to tell, and the way that I'm going to tell it is just sort of inspired by the stuff that I've been going through, and my ability to weave the story, But yeah, in terms of just wanting to pick up a guitar and play, you can't. Anybody who listens to Black Sabbath wants to make those sounds. You know what I mean? Like it just is.
Hell yeah. Now let's say you were going to go on tour.
There you go. Yeah, if you were going to go on tour, Revel 9, any band, dead or alive, who you going out on tour with, man?
Well, I tell you what, and it's an interesting question because it's an actual question we've been having. The hard rock scene, and I've had this realization probably over the past 6 months. The hard rock scene is a real tough one lately because, like, there's a good metal scene. You know what I mean? Like, you guys know. There's a good, strong metal community. Like, I'm not necessarily sure that there's a whole market for it. I think that there is, but, like, we're all competing with pop for dollars, and none of us are going to get there. Not right now. We've got to do some serious changes to music, to the landscape. But
totally.
There's a good, strong metal scene and a good amount of bands. There's a really good pop scene and a good amount of pop bands. There's also a good amount of rock bands, like older rock, like where you can hear like the old Aerosmith. Like you're not sure if they're going to go into an original or if it's Train Kept the Rolling. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of that. But I'm having a lot of trouble finding a niche of hard rock. And we as a band, like, we kind of model ourselves after bands like Chevelle, and the Deftones, and A Perfect Circle, and then we start to run out of bands. You know what I mean? Like, they're out there, but I don't like them. I don't like them so much. Like, they're okay, but they're not great. And so I don't know where we would go. Like, if I had to pick bands that were around now, like, I would love to tour with Chevelle. Like, I think touring with Chevelle or Deftones, I think would be absolutely fantastic. For 10 years or bands like that would be wonderful. I think that would be great. You know, like, if I had a, you know, Live or Dead, I mean, like, I would love to tour with, like, Sabbath or Deep Purple or stuff like that. But I think, realistically, I'm having trouble placing my band where it needs to be heard. And I think, you know, like a tour with, like, Bobaflex or something like that. That's a good hard rock, a good up-and-coming hard rock band. We played with them already. A band like Allele out of Jacksonville. Good hard rock band. But these guys are on the, you know, these guys are a level or two even maybe above me, and they're having the same kind of trouble getting their stuff out. So I'm not discouraged to the point where I'm not going to keep pushing, but I'm not encouraged because I don't feel like I see like a clear path. Like, you know, like if I was a pop act, I think my dream would be to go open for, I mean, with Justin Bieber. Is he even still in the country? Like, I don't know.
Justin Bieber, really?
Yeah, man, we're gonna call him Migra, man. Call him Migra and Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so
it's sad because he's like one of my only pop references. I just don't really follow the pop market. I mean, I know Miley Cyrus. I think she's still a thing, right? Like, that's pretty much all I got.
well, you guys could go out and twerk with her, right?
Oh yeah, I heard you guys are the best twerkers in town. Is that true? You guys are the best twerkers in town?
Well, yeah, that's my next plan. Like, if this record flops, that's my next plan.
All right, so you get a call tomorrow, and they say, yep, we're going to go out on tour with Deep Purple, for example. What are the necessities that you must include in your take on this tour?
The accessory, well, I'll tell you what. I had the good fortune of touring with Rob Quadrillo. And he told me that in his rider, he's not the bass player for Metallica for anybody that doesn't know that, but he told me in his rider he always asks for new socks every night. And I thought it was ridiculous until I toured. And like the fifth day, I was thinking, because you come off stage and you're dripping wet, like from socks to, you know, from socks to shirt. And I gotta tell you, ever since then, I've always wanted to put in my rider that I need a brand new socks. but in terms of actual performing accessories, we're good to go. Like, we're a touring band. We're all set.
So
like,
now,
we could tour tomorrow.
Do you ask for a pair of socks, or do you go for the extra third sock for the Johnson?
Actually, I think he asked for a 6-pack of socks at every show.
There you go.
And I think he got it, too.
That's a very common answer, believe it or not, is the socks. People are
yeah.
always like, yeah, you want to bring socks. Yep, for sure.
And clean
Yeah,
undies.
well, they tell you.
Hey, you never know when you're going to shit yourself on stage. You got to bring extra underwear.
Clean
man.
underwears.
I'm telling you, I've never been in danger of shitting myself on stage. The whole fight or flight mechanism, like, you really tighten up and you can do the job. And I've performed a lot. Well, not a lot. I've performed plenty of times unwell on stage because you have to do the job. Like, over the past 5 years, I've canceled exactly 2 shows. And one was canceled, like, weeks in advance. You know, and then the other one I canceled, it was actually the day after my guitar player died. We had to cancel that show. I was actually, the night he died, I was on the phone with the promoter saying that we had to cancel. So I don't cancel shows. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
And, you know, your body knows what to do. You have to go up there and perform. You know, you have to go up there and perform. Like, we had a show once, also up at the Room. This was a couple years ago. My old drummer, he was so sick. Like, we actually had a Google map out where the nearest hospital was. He was laying in the van, and we're like, dude, we just have to do the show. Like, we're here. It was an important show, And he's like, can't do it. And then he's like, all right, fine. He texts me from the van. Okay, fine, I'll do it. The guy in Vernon who owns the room good enough with it. He brought a garbage can and put it right next to him on stage just in case he threw up. And he played the show. He played great. Dripping sweat. We did like 25 minutes. We did nice and short. And we got him out. And, he felt fine right after because your body just knows how to do the job. I mean, 20 minutes afterwards, he didn't feel so good, so we got him out of there. But, your body definitely knows how to do it. I'm not worried about shitting my pants on stage.
You always got to make sure you got a chuck bucket, too. Yeah.
All right, so what about, since we're not going to talk about that, shitting on stage and all, do you guys have any rituals before hitting the stage?
Yeah.
Or after coming off the stage? Anything you have to have or have to do right before you go on?
We don't. We really don't. In this version of this band that we haven't even been together a year, we haven't really developed anything like that. But I'm not terribly, how's the word I'm looking for? Whatever. I'm not really big into rituals. I will say though, like I don't drink before I play because for two reasons. One, it's just not good for the vocal cords. Like, it just isn't. But two, I get really excited when I perform. Like, I really like to do it. And I find that when I drink on top of that, I get really excited, and I'll end up blowing my voice out. Because I'll just, like, over-sing or just start yelling and stuff, like, and not sing and yell properly. I get very excited. So I generally just don't drink before a show. So if I had any ritual, it really is you bow, you get off the stage, you put my guitar away, and I go right to the bar and just get like a drink, just to have it, just to kind of just be all rock star with it.
Right.
Speaking of rock stars,
that's as close to a ritual as I got.
Go ahead, Bagman.
Speaking of rock stars, what's the most rock star thing you've done since you are on done tours and stuff? What's the most rock star thing you've done?
Oh God. I'm just not a very good rock star. That way. The only thing that comes to mind is really super lame. It wasn't even really rock star. It was just it was a cool rock star moment. We played this big festival upstate New York, and it was like an all-day thing and whatever. And we ended up, we stayed over. We didn't have anything the next day, so we just stayed over in town. Hung out with the after party at the festival and all that stuff. Next morning we get out, we do like the extended checkout and stuff like that at a really crap hole motel we were in. And on our way out, we're leaving the town and we pull into either a Denny's or an I think it was a Denny's. And we walk in looking about as good as you can look after an all-day festival. And there's like a whole table of kids. They're like, "Yo, Revel night." We're like, "Yo, what's up?" Because now apparently we're huge in Denny's. But I think that was probably the biggest rock star moment we've had over the past 8 months.
That's pretty awesome, though.
That's pretty fucking. Yeah, that's all right.
It's always cool when people do that,
Fuck yeah.
Now you got a lot of other things going on, dude, that you're doing too. Tell us a little bit about what else you're up to, man.
God. Well, I think the two most, I guess the two biggest things, and maybe I might even be forgetting things, but the two biggest things that I personally am involved in are, I have this music series. We call it New to You. It's NUTUYU. And we run it on occasion. It's not a pain in the ass, but it's a lot of work because I need to do it correctly when we do it. But basically what was happening is, like I said before, like we play regionally. We play regionally a lot. So that's, New Jersey, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. So we play all that, and because we play all that, we played it a lot. We run into some really amazing bands. And the thing with New York, and the reason why New York sucks so much, and especially Long Island, but it's so venue driven, and the venues just suck. I mean, with the exception of a couple, they just suck. They expect the bands to do all the work. The bring all the people in. And it's like, no other business operates. I mean, we've all seen those, like, you know, open letter to a venue thing. Like, that, it's true. Like, you know, you want to go play a venue, you have to bring, like, 50 of your friends, and they'll pay you maybe, like, $1 per person you bring. Like, it's retarded. So, like, we don't engage in that. Like, whenever we can avoid it, we don't. Like, I just turned down a show that I really wanted to play because the venue was pulling that shit on us, and I was like, you know what? No, good luck with that, you know? And it sucks because I wanted to do the show, but so what that translates to is, like, not only does it suck for local bands, but other bands that want to come play here from away, like that are touring through here, can't play here because if you're a band from, you know, Connecticut and you want to play in Long Island, like the first time, they want you to bring 20 people. Like, you can't do that. and the musical landscape doesn't even allow for that to happen anyway. It's not like you can get pushed on regular radio. I mean, Christ, I'm from here, and I can't get pushed on local radio here. You know what I mean? Like, and I know the DJs, like, personally, and they're like, no, it's all auto DJ. We can't do that stuff. So there's no way to build up a following other than playing live, and if they won't let you play live, you can't build up a following. So it's a lot more lax in other areas in the Northeast. It's still not great in other places, but New York is really, really bad for that kind of stuff. I mean, sure, they'll let you play like on a Tuesday, but nobody's going to see you, so it doesn't matter. So what we kind of decided to do, and by we, I mean like me and a couple of other guys in other bands, what we decided to do is put together a showcase that would basically bring in 2 bands from the region, and then we'd sandwich them between 3 locals. You'd have a big local in the middle, like, and big, I mean, like, it was their responsibility to draw. Like, that was the onus was on them. And they'd get a longer set and whatever. And we started this, I don't know, three years ago or whatever. And it's been a really successful thing every time we've done it. Even the crappiest ones that we've had, turnout-wise, were still good. Because it works a lot on networking, like with the local bands and the away bands, because you can build up really good relationships with the away bands. It works good on social media because you're reaching markets, because these other bands are posting your name and stuff and posting your music and stuff, because that's part of the deal. Like, if you're going to do a New to You show with me, you have to promote it, and you have to promote the other bands, especially if you're an away band, because we're not asking anything of you other than to come play. So what we want is you to spread the word in your little neck of the woods. And all the other bands are like, oh, cool, we can do that. That's no problem. And so these shows have been really good. And, you know, they're not like massive blowouts of you know, like hundreds and hundreds of people, but it's a good concentrated, you know, 50 to 200 people that stay for the whole show and check it out and check out all the bands and really will give the bands a real good listen. And that's important because then those bands can flip those fans the next time they want to come back. And we've done a bunch of these now. In our last one, we actually had the guys from Fear the Masses come down, and they were one of the bands that played with us. And, you know, they got a really good reception, you know what I mean? Like, they got a really good audience. And I booked the show so that I made sure that I had a really heavy band before them, so there was kind of some cross-genre, so it was good. And I think that they had a good time. I know that they made some good money, which is also another thing. Like, we make sure we pay all the New to You bands. And so, you know, we're real proud of that. Like, that's like a big deal. Like, I would love to do more of them, but honestly, trying to run my own band and, you know, get this new record out and stuff takes a lot. And I wouldn't do a New to You show if I knew I couldn't get it to run correctly. So I sort of spaced them out. Like, our last one was in January. I probably won't do another one until the end of the year. So that's New to You. And I guess, the other thing I do is I do my own radio show. I do a show every Thursday. I don't mean to plug my
go right ahead.
But we're on New Radio, and another internet-based radio station. I do my own show every Thursday from noon to 2. They call it the Hard Rock Lunchbox. And it's actually kind of an outgrowth of the whole New to You principle, because the reason I got the show is because I, by some estimates, have like the world's greatest iPod, because what I have on there is all my favorite national acts, but I also have all my favorite bands that I've played with over the years, you know, over the past 3 years. from all over the Northeast and beyond, like even further, like bands that I've toured with that are in and out of the area. Like I just have a great mix of bands that a lot of people have never even heard of because you can't get radio play in this country anymore.
Oh yeah.
So basically, that was right. So that was the pitch of the show. The guys at Newer Got Radio were like, "Listen, you can have your own show." I'm like, "Nah, I'm busy." Like, you can play whatever you want. I'm like, "Yeah, fine, I'm busy." Like, but you get to play, whatever you want. Like all those bands that you keep talking about all the time. And I was like, "Oh, really?" And they're like, "And we're on Labscan, so they all get royalties." So I was like, "Okay, done. I'll give it a shot." I've been doing that for almost a year now. And I gotta tell you, it's a lot of fun. I know why you guys do your own radio show. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Fuck yeah. I mean, it's shit. We've been doing this now 8 years, so it's addicting as fuck once you get going, man. Mm-hmm. So, but yo, dude, you gotta tell.
You guys are doing it forever.
Yeah, you gotta tell us a little bit about. I was reading some of this. What's this Trial by Self? What is this?
What is this?
That goes.
It's like
that goes way back. All right, so back in the G Davy days, I had this song. We did an album called Sparticle. It was the first G Davy full length record. It was the only G Davy full length record, actually. I don't even know how many years ago it was. Actually, maybe 5 years ago. And I had this acoustic song. Like that's how pop it was. Like I said before, like G Davy was definitely a product. We were trying to write pop songs, trying to write radio songs. So I had this acoustic song that I liked, and I thought it was catchy, and I put it on the record. And that song actually got a bunch of traction in a couple of places, but it also got traction on this. I don't even remember the people who were doing it. It was a CD compilation meant strictly for distribution to not movie producers, but like writers. And screenplay editors, like the people that do the work, not the money people, but the people that do the work. And it got in the hands of this director and writer. His name's Brandon Allen Powell, and he really liked it. And he contacted me. He's like, "Oh, I really love this song. Volunteer, can I use it for this screenplay that I'm working on?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course you can, absolutely." And he's like, "Do you have anything else?" I'm like, "Well, I don't really have anything recorded that sounds like that." And I made the mistake of saying, like, "Oh, but I'll write you something if you want." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, do that." And I was like, "Oh, fuck, man." So I was like, "Okay, I'll write you a song. I'll write you a song specifically for the movie. Send me some stuff about the movie." And what I didn't know about him at the time is that he's very, and I've worked with him since, so, like, I know this now. But he'll give you like bits and pieces of kind of what he's going for, but he won't give you the whole piece because he kind of wants to see what you come up with. It's definitely a technique, and that's fine. And I was cool with it, but it was my first time dealing with it. So he gave me like bits and pieces, like a title, and kind of a little bit about what he was going for, just a little bit. And I was sitting on my couch, and I had this music for what would end up becoming Trial by Self, and I got off I don't even remember if it was a phone call or if it was email, but it was a long exchange. I think it was a phone call. And I sat down with all that stuff fresh in my head, and I wrote it in a matter of minutes. And sent it to him. He loved it. And he wanted to include it in his movie, and then we ended up doing a full band rock version of it that ended up being on the last G Davy record, She Sells Smiles. And, that song ended up being in the movie Trial by Self. The song is called Trial by Self, ended up being in the movie Trial by Self. And then just before production was done, he asked me if I would be able to help write some of the score. So I was like, okay, I'd never written a score before, so I was like, I'm not sure, but I certainly could try. And then we went through the same stuff where he wouldn't tell me anything about the scenes I was writing for. Like, normally I know now that when you write a score, you kind of sit there and you watch some of the visual and stuff like that. He wouldn't let me do that. He wouldn't give me any of that. He would just give me sort of an idea and maybe an emotion and a duration of how long, and I just had to kind of create. And I ended up creating like hours of score, and he would just pick and choose, and he ended up doing almost the entire score based on the stuff that I sent him. So, and the movie is still making its way through festivals and stuff like that, and he's working on some new big project that's kind of all secrecy and stuff like that, and I'm excited to see what's up with that, and hopefully I'll have a hand in that too. But Yeah, so that's the whole Trial by Shop. It's a real cool kind of psychodrama thriller, like kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Psycho kind of stuff. It's a cool flick, and I was excited when it came out. But like I said, it's still making its way through festivals and stuff, and I get accolades for it all the time for doing the score. So
cool.
I thought that was really cool.
And then the other one I saw was the audiobook by Jack Kincaid. I mean, have you now listened to this audiobook a bunch of times, and like that's your music behind this, man? Is that not cool?
It is way cool. I mean, Jack is a cool dude anyway. He's an incredibly talented writer. And I try and explain this, like, it's like old school radio. Like, I mean, it's definitely nothing that my generation would even know about other than seeing it in flashbacks of movies, you know, but it's like, anybody that's seen A Christmas Story, when Ralphie goes back and, you know, he's listening to Little Orphan Annie, like, that's what this is. Except it's really good horror suspense stuff. You know, Jack's just a good friend of mine, and you know, I love his stuff, and I love being associated with it. So anytime I have music, I just send it to him, and you know, we definitely have an open-ended agreement. It's like anything of mine you want, you use. Like it's fine. And so what's cool about that particular agreement is that every now and then I'll be listening to, you know, one of the episodes and stuff, and all of a sudden, like, I'll just kind of catch that it's one of my songs in there, and it's like, oh yeah, like, you know, it's real common for like a scene where they'll be in a car and they're listening to the radio, and it's like, you know, either a G Davy or a Revel line song. Like, I love shit like that, you know. But I'm usually so invested in the story, I've missed it a couple of times, and they'll be like, oh, did you hear on that? I'm like, no, I didn't even hear it. But it's cool, and it's such a cool project too. Like, yeah, he did the one for Host Grim, which is a complete story, which is just beyond fantastic. And now he's got this series that's Edict Zero FIS, which is like this sort of futuristic, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like this futuristic setting, like a Earth, I don't know if it's like 3,000, you know, a couple of centuries from now, or like a millennia from now, and it's very cool stuff. It's really cool, and I dig all of his writing, and I will be sending him basically all the tracks from the new record as soon as it's done, so hopefully we'll be in the new season of that.
That sounds awesome, man. We're going to have a little fun with you now, man. We're going to do it's like 20 questions kind of thing. You got 30 seconds to answer. Basically what we're looking for is the first thought that you have, and then go with that if you want to discuss it afterwards. So the first question is, what is your take on social media right now? Are you kind of thinking it's bullshit, or are you kind of feeling it's helping you out?
I think it's ridiculous. I think it offers a way to communicate with some people, but I think there's so much noise in it right now. You can't do what you used to be able to do, and it needs a major overhaul. But I have no idea what it's going to be.
All right, what's the best social media site to you?
Oh, Facebook, still by far and away, it's the best one.
Okay, awesome. Number 3. Do you prefer Seether or Shinedown? It's a tough one, I know. That's why I asked it.
I like Seether better, but man, I take my Shinedown. But I definitely like Seether a little bit better.
Okay, number 4. If you had control of it, what band would you wish would go away and die?
I know this one. Honestly, I can't think of their names.
Go through the alphabet. All right, it's cool, man. Next one.
Come back to me probably in a couple of questions. I'll let you.
Okay, no, that's cool, man. All right, I already asked you one of these, so it's actually 19 questions. Damn. All right, well, do you prefer shopping, or do you end up waiting for people when you go shopping?
Oh, dude, I don't shop, man. I'm an internet kid.
There you go. It's a good dancer. What's the best line you could come up with for a prospective female?
Wait, what?
Best like pickup line, dude.
Yeah, same thing.
Let's see. I've been married for a while, so I think the best line I think I have is, "Hey, honey, you want to go upstairs?"
Good enough.
Old school, man. It all works.
It's very effective, though.
All right, well, that's good. Good.
All right, so since you said you're married and marriage does not count, have you ever gotten laid because you're in a band?
Actually, only by my wife.
There you go. What's the one?
I gotta tell you, like, I just want to just aside here. I mean, like, look, it's nice to be able to go out there and play rock star in front of your wife. Because I mean, she still gets turned on after all these years, man. That's saying something. I mean, I still got my game.
Right?
Hell yeah. All right, next question. What movie are you looking forward to the most this summer?
God, is there going to be another Avengers movie?
No, it's.
I just want to see anything that Joss Whedon has is working on, and like anything he does, or anything that Robert Downey Jr. is in. I don't even give a shit what it is. Like just anything that either of those guys are doing, I'm down for it. Although Godzilla looks cool, I could go for that too.
Yeah.
What's
Guardians looks fucking Guardians of the Galaxy.
that does look like it's going to be good.
Fuck, dude, that looks awesome.
Even the X-Men's looking good.
Oh yeah, X-Men's looking real good.
All right, next question.
We're such nerds.
Yeah. What's the best food in the world to you, man?
The best food?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Pussy counts.
It really sort of depends on the night, but if you get like
good
a
pussy.
really good gyro, like it's great.
Now, a few weeks back, this dude ordered 9 gyros, but he got like 97 gyros instead. And he actually used social media to help the dude sell the other whatever gyros he didn't need. He just took this 9 and sold the rest on via social networking.
Yeah.
True story.
Right.
True story.
All right, man. What's the best thing to do when you're bored? What do you like to do when you're totally bored?
Yeah, what are you doing when you're alone?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, the only thing I actually get to do when I'm alone, which just isn't all that often, is like sometimes I'll just actually get to sit with my acoustic guitar and just sort of strum it. Like it's kind of therapy for me. Like just to not have to be writing or recording or just be able to sit and play it. Like it's really like the kind of go-to thing that I do.
So you strum your instrument while you're alone.
Yeah.
Yes, I strum my instrument when I'm alone.
All right, very good. Just wanted to make
Speaking
sure.
of strumming your instrument, if we gave you blow paste, what would you do with it? Would you brush your teeth with it, or would you use it as a loop?
I have no idea.
Well, it does both, so there you go.
It does both. Yeah, use blow paste. Check that out. Blow paste on Facebook. ChiquiChacha.com. Check that stuff out. Take the taste of dick out of your mouth.
I learned something. I guess I'll have to look into blow paste.
It's a real product.
It's a real product, man. We had Jasmine Ejan, creator of blow paste on last week.
Yeah.
Sweet girl too.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, you should totally check that out. It is a toothpaste and lube.
Yeah.
See, that doesn't bother anybody.
I'm all for it. What are you talking
yeah.
about? Bother? If it means I get more blowjobs, dude, that's great. That is a great thing. I mean, how could anybody?
Yeah, how could you hate a blowjob?
No,
you
you can't hate a blowjob.
I mean, you can't even say no to a blowjob half the time.
I mean, unless obviously you're married, you can say no to a blowjob to anybody
people.
Else. But if your wife just came over to you and was like, "Hey, can I give you a blowjob?" You'd be like, "Yeah." Like, why is there a question? And they're like, "Let's do this." I don't give a fuck, dude. I know. Hey, that's just me. Maybe that's just me. All right, go ahead.
All right, so we already talked about being stuck on an island and what music what one album would you take? The next question is, if you were stuck on an island, who in the band would you eat first?
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good question. See, Tony would probably be a good snack. I'd probably eat him first in hopes of being rescued. But Tony's little, so I mean, that would really. Although, I might have to eat Kaz because I could see where Kaz would try and eat me. So I'm gonna have to eat Kaz first.
Okay. Would you wear a sweater that was knitted out of a girl's vagina?
Absolutely not.
Under no circumstances, not for any amount of money?
I can't imagine anything above freezing to death. that would warrant me wearing a sweater made out of vagina.
All right,
I can handle that. All right, so if you were to just sum up real quick, the one kind of music that is your favorite, and what kind of music is your least favorite, what would those be?
Oh,
just one thing.
I hate the newer rap. I'm not even sure what it's called. I like some hip hop, like some of the better. I want to say like the better hip hop, but I guess the hip hop that I like. But some rap that's just like it's all sample and just bullshit for lyrics and like no thought put into it at all. Just about how badass everybody is. Like I fucking hate that stuff. It's horrible. So that would be that. I really like a good hard rock song, man. I'm a huge fan of like Revel and Tool, and I like a lot of the newer metal too. Not a lot of it, but I like A Day to Remember. I like Rise Against. I like bands like that. But that harder rock stuff is stuff that really kind of speaks to me. Like I love that stuff. Like I think the new Deftones album is one of the best albums like ever. Like it's just fantastic. I could listen to that all day long.
What's the most annoying song in the world to you that you just want to like kill somebody when you hear it?
Oh, that Call Me Maybe song. Holy shit, I hate that song. I mean, listen. I hope everybody makes money in music because, I mean, there's just not a lot of money to be made. But, man, I cannot fucking stand when I have to hear that shit when I'm on hold for somebody or in a doctor's office. Like, it is just so goddamn annoying. And, like, it's catchy and stuff, but it's so vapid. The words are just so retarded. And listen, truth be told, like, I like the Backstreet Boys well enough because at the very least, like, their lyrics didn't completely suck. But these girls that you're singing this vapid, mindless, stupid shit are not doing anybody any favors.
Dude, that's no way to talk about Justin Bieber.
Yeah. That's no way to put down Justin Bieber.
Yeah, that's no way to talk about Justin Bieber.
I'm hearing there's a question to his gender anyway.
Exactly. It's that whole same thing. Like, look, I don't mind the poppiness. Like, yeah, it's a little nonsensical and stuff, and some of it's definitely childish. But fucking say something. Like, say something.
Baby.
Do the world a favor.
Baby.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple more. What famous celebrity would you be absolutely nervous to death about meeting?
Oh, Johnny Depp.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
I love that dude, man, and he's just like way too cool.
Awesome. Number 19, most loyal fan. Who's your most loyal fan?
I don't know. I don't know that I have an answer for that. We have incredibly loyal fans all over the country, really, and actually some outside of the country. Fans that have been with us for a really long time. I don't know that I could give you an answer.
You want to give any shout-outs to anybody?
Yeah, I want to give shout-outs to everybody on our street team. I want to give shout-outs to, certainly all of our friends and family that have kind of supported us all along. Definitely shout-out to my wife that's watching my daughter right now so I can do this interview without her constantly coming in here. And big shout-outs to everybody that's been patient with us and that's given us the time that we needed to put the band back together and get this record out. I certainly hope it's worth it to everybody.
Okay, awesome. And the final question, which isn't in the list here, it's up further, is, I just had it in my head and it's gone! It's gone! Holy crap. I just went blank. You don't have anything while I'm...
Well, I mean, we could play the game, if you like. All right, well...
all right. No, what do you hate most about being in a band?
Oh, there you go.
That's the question. There it is. Yep. What do you hate about it?
What I hate most about being in a band?
Yeah.
Honestly, these days, it really is the amount of work you have to do these shows and getting so little return on it. Like, the amount of cost to the band to actually play these shows is ridiculous. and I hate it. I wish the band could break even touring, and it just doesn't. And that really bothers me. It sucks to actually have to pay money to go perform your art for people. I know we all do it, and doesn't mean I can't bitch about it.
All right, awesome, man. Now I'm going to play a game with you now.
All right, so this is a quick little game. Got a little breaker for it. For many moons, we haven't seen this character here on OFNR in quite some time, so I gotta play his little intro here. All right, hang on, just hang on with it.
Okay.
After weeks of surgery, the man, the myth, the legend returns.
Hey man, it's Paco Suave and I'm back in action. Back and better than ever. Dun, 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 dun. Back and better than ever. Dun, 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 dun. I'm back and better than ever. Dun, dun.
It's Bad Libs, brought to you in part by OFNR. Bad Libs. Oh, these are bad. Oh god. Mexican. Yeah, that guy smells.
Okay, man, you still there, man? DJ, you on the phone?
Yes.
Okay, check it out, man. We're gonna play a little game. It's like Mad Libs, man. You ever play Mad Libs when you were a kid, man?
Oh, that's going a little far back, but yeah, I'm familiar.
Alright, man, so we need like an adjective, man. Give me like a describing word, like smelly or gross, like the bagman over here.
Yeah, let's go with smelly.
Smelly, okay. Give me a verb ending in ed, like kicked or sucked.
Alright, punched.
Punched. Alright, give me a noun, like a plural noun, like that's multiple persons, places, or things.
Okay, let's go with titties.
Titties.
Nice
It's a
choice.
funny word.
Alright, man, give me a liquid, you know, like milk or water.
Yeah, cerveza, man.
Cerveza, yeah, man, that's a good choice. Okay, give me another noun, man, another plural noun.
Another plural noun? Hot dogs.
Hot dogs, okay, man, that sounds like a good one. How about a famous person, man? Who's famous to you, man? Who you like?
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen, man, he thinks he's winning, man. He's a loser.
Carlos.
Carlos Sheen is way better than Charlie. Okay, give me a place, man.
A place? Let's see. Hawaii. Oh, that sounds good.
Alright, give me an occupation.
Occupation, let's see.
How about hooker?
Hooker. Perfect.
Alright, give me a regular noun, like a singular noun. Like dick.
Yeah, dick it is.
A nationality? I'm just gonna put Mexican because that's me, you know. Alright, I need a female celebrity.
Female celebrity. Let's see. Who's that chick from Superbad? Emma Stone, right? That's her name?
Sure.
She's a celebrity.
Sure, man, I'm always stoned, so it doesn't matter to me. How about one more noun, man? Give me a noun. Another noun.
Pencil. That I have right here.
Okay. A female friend?
Female friend? Let's see.
Just say Jen, because, like, we all know 1,000 Jens. Or Heather.
You're right. Absolutely.
Alright, one more plural noun. We're almost done, by the way.
Plural noun, you said?
Yeah, you know, multiple persons, places, or things. Like assholes.
Yes. Ass cheeks, I think would be good.
Ass cheeks. Okay. I need a number.
7. Oh, wait, 9. What am I doing?
Alright, and then I need one more descriptive word, like an adjective, you know, like smelly, gross, whiny, slimy. Okay.
Slimy.
Alright, man, here's the list. Check this out. Smelly punch, titties, cerveza, hot dogs, Charlie Sheen, Hawaii, hooker, dick, Mexican, Emma Stone, pencil, Jen, ass cheeks 9, slimy. This,
Perfect.
Mr. DJ, is your personal ad. I enjoy long, smelly walks on the beach, getting punched in the rain, and serendipitous encounters with titties. I really like pina coladas mixed with cerveza and romantic canna-lit hot dogs. I'm well read from Dr. Seuss to Charlie Sheen, and I've traveled frequently to Hawaii, and when I'm not busy at work. I am a hooker, so I am looking for dick and beauty in the form of a Mexican goddess. She should have the physique of Emma Stone and the pencil of Jen. I would prefer if she knew how to cook, clean, and wash my ass cheeks. I know, because I'm not very sensitive to my picture.
I think that's perfect.
It was taken 9 days ago, and I've since become very slimy. That's your personal ad, man. I'm gonna post that. Oh my god. I gotta go.
Yeah, I think that's... I don't see anything wrong with that. Go ahead. Post that right up.
Yeah, that pretty much wraps it up, though, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Dude, thanks so much for having me and for going the extra mile in the face of all these technological difficulties.
Yeah, man, that's what we do, man. OFNR.
Speakerphone, man. Speakerphone.
We'd like you to take just a second to give us a... We'd like you to take a second just to give us a breaker if you could, man.
No, he already sent us one, man.
Well, then we're all set with that.
He did that shit in advance because that's
dude,
how pro he is.
Any final thoughts on anything you'd like to share with our listeners, man?
No, I'm real happy. I really do appreciate everything that you guys do. I know you guys have been doing it longer than most, and it's just been, OFNR forever, man. It's been great. I'm more than appreciative of you guys for what you do for us, for what you do for the local scene. I am psyched to play for you guys in October, and that's going to be fantastic.
Oh yeah, dude, we're doing it for the kids, man.
Oh yeah. All right, well, very cool, man. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, guys, man. Have a great night, and I will talk to you guys soon, all right?
Yeah, keep in touch with us, brother.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, peace out.
Later.
All right, Nation of Decimation. That was DJ from Revel 9.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna
I'm
go
sorry,
to
I fucking lost it there, man.
We're gonna go to a music break because I haven't had a cigarette in an hour and a half, dude, and I'm clawing my face off over here. So we're gonna play some music real quick, and then we'll come back and discuss some other things.